Hello and welcome to the sideboard here at the Season 2 Invitational in Columbus, Ohio. I am Nick Miller alongside Chi-Hoi Yim for our first of 8 interviews for the top 8. How are you feeling today?
Feeling pretty good, although not the matchup particularly, but yeah.
Well, you're in your second Invitational top 8.
Yep.
Your previous one, the Atlanta 2012, where you lost to Todd in the finals.
Unfortunately,
Looking to improve on that, I assume?
Yeah, definitely. I really want to get that first place here.
Okay. And you had a X1-1 record in the Legacy portion with Blue-White Red Miracles.
Mm-hmm.
And then Standard, you have your Blue-White deck with double Aetherwing main.
Yeah, I have 4 Quickens also.
And 4 Quicken.
Yeah.
So really looking to prey upon the current metagame?
Yeah, Quicken and Supreme Verdict in conjunction really works against the big monster strategy that's kind of popular right now and catches people off guard with the Mutavaults and stuff, you know. Just one forward.
What are the biggest changes to this deck this week, you know, from previous weeks?
Pretty much just a Quicken mostly and the second Aetherling to be able to win with the time that we have. When you're playing live Magic, like if I'm playing on Magic Online, I don't really need that many win conditions, but since we're playing live Magic, that's a big problem for me.
All right, well first up, quarterfinal matchup against Alex Bertoncini and Jun Monsters.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on the matchup?
I think I really have to win game 1 because that's where it's going to be easiest before he brings in all this other really good card against me. So I'm going to have a uphill battle post-board.
Okay. Now, of course, if you win the Invitational, comes with the money,
yeah,
but also the prestige of the token. Now, have you thought about what would you like your token to be?
Well, I play with Elspeth a lot, so I do make a bunch of 1/1 soldiers, but that's kind of a little weak, so I might upgrade to a 4/4 angel.
Okay.
For the Entreat Angels I play in Legacy, so.
Excellent. That is a good choice. Well, good luck. I'm going to shoot it over to Andrew Shrout, who's sitting with our 7th seed.
Hey guys, Andrew Shrout. I'm here on the sideboard with your 7th seed, Reed Duke. How's it going, Reed?
Hey, great. Thrilled to be here. You have no idea.
So we're gonna talk a little bit about your legacy deck before we get to the meat of the standard. You played Blue-White Red Miracles in Legacy.
That's right.
You played it to a 5-2-1 record.
Actually, other way around. Legacy
I had that backwards,
was where I did my heavy
lifting. Played to a 7-1 record then.
Yep.
Okay, so much better. Tell me a little about why you chose to play that deck and how it worked out for you.
You know, I've been kind of unsuccessful in Legacy in the recent, 6 months or a year or something. I kept playing a deck, not liking it, switching. So I went back to an old favorite. I played Blue-White Miracles in lots of tournaments, about a year ago. Okay. And I saw Joe Lossett's success with it, time after time. So I decided to go with the red splash like he does, and it was amazing. I think it's definitely one of the best decks in Legacy.
Nice. All right. Well, definitely worked out for you. Yep. You played blue-white-ish control in both formats, in fact.
Yeah.
Blue-white control straight up in standard to a 5-2-1 record.
Yeah. It was actually ironic because coming to this tournament, I prepared so much for standard, nonstop playing, and I came in with the highest level of confidence by my standard deck, but I was more or less winging it in Legacy. But as it turned out, I had not so good a record in standard, and the Legacy deck was what got me there.
All right, fair enough. So you're playing blue-white control. Your opponent in this quarterfinal, Jared Betcher, playing black-red devotion. Did you test that matchup last night? Are you ready for it?
Yeah, I tested the matchup, and I've played a million matches against various builds of mono black, but Jared's deck in particular could be a tough matchup. He has a very good sideboard against me, so the fact that we play 4 sideboard games gives him an advantage. But it's going to be a tough match. Jared's a really tough opponent, but I think either of us can win. All right. Definitely going to try my best.
And then the last question I'm going to ask you: if you win this event, and just as a reminder, you've actually already won, Reminder to those at home, of course, you've already won an Invitational.
That's right, yeah.
But we were not making tokens of the winners at that time. So you have the trophy, but you don't have the token.
That's right.
So if you win this Invitational, what creature type are we going to see your face on?
Yeah, I'm sorry to disappoint, but I actually don't have an answer to that question right now.
Oh,
if I do get that far, I'll be open to suggestions. So anybody who has a good idea, feel free to reach out to me.
Okay, I'm going to make my own suggestion. I think you should be an Elspeth emblem.
Elspeth emblem, I do like that, yeah.
Right. But of course, tweet at either myself or Reed with suggestions, you folks at home. Thanks for sitting down with me again, Reed.
Yeah, my pleasure.
We're going to kick it to Nick Miller, who is sitting with Ben Friedman.
Welcome back to the sideboard. I'm Nick Miller, along the side with our 6th seed, Ben Friedman. How you doing?
Pretty well.
About this time yesterday, give or take, I was talking to you in the sideboard for your black-white mid-range deck tech. You said you had to XO1 or, possibly have to win every round.
Right.
With Legacy, you did it. You're in the top 8. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now you're playing black-white mid-range and standard. You're one of the very few people with no buys to actually 8-0 standard portion.
Pretty lucky.
How are you feeling about your deck in this top 8?
I'm very confident. I think that it slices through all the control decks very easily. I probably wouldn't be super happy about playing against Tom Ross's deck, and the mono blue matchup is kind of coin flippy. I'm not sure. We'll see how the games play out.
Okay. And Legacy, you played your patented blue-red right Delver.
Yeah.
Was that a strong choice this weekend?
Well, blue-white-red Delver is always going to be at least an okay choice because the card quality is very high and the proactive game plan is very good. I think that I, first of all, was a little rusty with the deck, and I think I made one small mistake in one round that cost me the match. And then some of the other matches just didn't quite break my way. It has a bad matchup against lands, which if you were watching, I got beaten by Jerry Thompson on camera with some interesting cards on his part. But I still would consider playing it. I just think I might branch out in the future at Legacy Opens.
Okay. And your quarterfinal matchup is against Logan Mize playing the mono blue devotion deck.
Right.
Now you said it was about coin flip. What are the specifics in that matchup that you got to look out for and the things you have to do to win that match?
So I don't know if Logan is listening in. I don't want to give him any secret insight into what I'm going to sideboard, but I think that the key is to not let Nightveil Spectre hit the table and start connecting because that pulls him way too far ahead. The other thing is I do not he's not playing any Hall of Triumph, which I think is pretty good for me. And I think that because I'm not playing Gray Merchant, I don't want to play an aggressive game plan where some lists were doing that. I'd rather just attrition him out and eventually win with Whip, which is, again, as I said in the deck tech, a powerful card in the aggressive deck, in the aggressive matchups as it turns the game really, really quickly in my favor, and eventually just win with some of my higher creature quality.
Okay. Well, yesterday in the deck tech, you said you would be giving a portion of your winnings to the Mariah, the fund and all that. And the interesting part is when you're also going to devote the token if you win to her as well. Explain how that's going to go down. Yeah.
So I've spoken with Mariah and her father, and we decided that we would have a significant portion of my winnings go to the Mariah fund. And then the token that the Invitational winner gets to make, I think it would be a good symbolic gesture to have it be a Mariah token. And hopefully if you guys get a Mariah token in one of your packs at an open or something like that, you would consider donating to help Mariah recover and recuperate from her tragic accident.
Well, that would be a great story. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Right now I'm going to send it over to Andrew Shrout and the number 5 seed, Brad Nelson.
Hey guys, Andrew Shrout. I'm here in the sideboard with your 5th seed, Brad Nelson. How's it
Hello,
going, Brad?
everyone. Pretty good. Glad to be back.
Feeling all right?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to talk a little bit about your Legacy deck before we get to the Standard. You chose to play Esper Deathblade in Legacy, and you played that to a 6-1-1 record. Is that right?
The last round was a draw.
Yeah. So tell me a little about that deck, why you chose to play it, kind of how it ran for you this weekend.
The reason I chose to play it was mostly because I liked it before. I played it at an Invitational prior, went 7-1, went 6-2 in an open, and it just fits my playstyle. Now, everyone around me says I should not play it and play other decks, but I've learned that in this format, this caters to my playstyle, and I enjoy it, and I understand it. Like Sneak and Show, I won the Invitational, I top 8'd with it, but I wasn't that good with it. I just jammed.
Sure, that's how the deck works, right?
Yeah, I went 4-3 in the Swiss, and so I played a lot of Magic Online the last 2 weeks and got the deck list to where I wanted it, and I think the deck's actually really good.
All right, nice. Well, definitely paid off for you this weekend. In Standard, you played Jund Monsters, a deck you've been hyping for a couple weeks now.
Yeah, I jumped on the CVM bandwagon a couple weeks ago.
Sure. Played it to a 6-2 record, so tell us a little about why you chose to play that deck, why you're on the bandwagon.
Yeah, Standard right now is really high variance, and the thing that I like most about the format is that you want to play something super proactive, but have elements to fight when you're behind. A lot of decks can't do that, and so Jund Monsters I don't think is the best deck by far, but I do think you have an edge in all the matchups you want an edge against. So the version that I played is very good against everything that is not mono red.
Okay, speaking of which, your quarterfinal matchup, of course, against Tom the Boss Ross, rocking Boss Sly. How are you feeling about that matchup?
I think it's fine in the sense that he's got to have the draws. My deck's going to be more consistent than him in the sense that, yeah, I'm going to shock, but I have a lot of removal. I have a lot of mid-range creatures. I have cards that are really tough to deal with, like Chandra and Polakranos, and a lot of good removal. A lot of cheap instant speed, 2-for-1able removal spells. I just have to get on the board, but he has to get on the board first. Like, his good draws are going to be tough to beat, so if he draws well, he's going to win, but it's all up to him.
Okay. All right, last question I'm going to ask you. If you take down this event, you are going to get your very own token. Now, in fact, you already have.
Another one?
You get another one. Brad Nelson, of course, already the 01 GOAT coming to a trading post near you. You guys have seen him before as a GOAT. What are we going to see you as next if you win?
It's a coin flip. I think I'm leaning towards Satyr. It's half GOAT. And I have top-8'd both Invitationals, piloting 4 Xenagos in the main deck of both my decks. So, like, I'm rocking Xenagos a lot in these things. So probably should just be a Xenagos Satyr token. But I want to be a demon from Skurzdeg High Priest. You guys let me know what you think would be better. Now, I'm going to let you guys know what my art would be. It would be, like, really close to the frame, like, chest up, demon in the background, Innistrad on flames, angels falling from the sky.
I'm not going to lie. Brad and I have had this conversation before.
I talk a lot about random things.
He tells me about his Brad Nelson demon art at least once a week.
No, that's not true. I told you it once this weekend for the first time.
All right, fine. We'll go with that story. thanks for sitting down with me again,
Yeah,
Brad.
for sure.
We're going to kick it back to Nick, who is sitting with your 4th seed, Tom Ross.
Back to the sideboard. I am Nick Miller alongside our number 4 seed, Tom the Boss Ross. How you feeling today?
Feeling good, Nick.
Good to see you. Not a stranger to this area. Last Invitational top 8, you were here along with your trusty Infect deck, which you played this weekend as well.
I did.
Made it to the top 8 with your Boss Sly standard deck. Talk about your deck choices this weekend and how good they've been for you.
I picked Boss Slide because the deck that I felt like could win the tournament. In the later rounds, like the rounds 10, 12, and in the top 8, we play more against more specific decks, more control decks. I hope for more mono black, but there's a lot of blue white control. And that's what I'm hoping for.
All right. Well, last time you made it here, it was a Legacy top 8. This time standard. Would you prefer to be playing Legacy, or do you like your standard deck with this metagame in this top 8?
I wouldn't mind either. Infect's a very good deck, and I only lost 1 game in Swiss between both of them, both of the tournaments, and I feel like I'm winning a game with it.
What does it say about you that you attack all the formats in these specific ways? You know, you're definitely the only person in this top 8 with as streamlined of a deck, you know, as yours.
Yeah, both decks are complex, but what my decks do is make tough situations for them. It's a lot of people like to solve puzzles. They play Magic, or they like solving puzzles. I'm the guy who makes the most difficult puzzle for them to solve.
The puzzle maker. All right. You're playing Brad Nelson, the number 5 seed in the quarterfinals, Jund Monsters. What do you think about the matchup? You will be on the play for game 1.
Being on a play is big. I played Jund Monsters once in Swiss, and I won the die roll and won 2-1. And yeah, it's going to come down to whoever can break serve, whoever can win on the draw will win the match.
Anything important in those sideboard games that you see sticking out?
Well, Brad didn't have Nylea's Disciple, and he only had 2 Courser Crucifix. He admitted to kind of hoping to dodge mono red for this tournament and just focus on the bigger archetypes. So I have the advantage in that area, but you kind of overlooked this.
Well, if you win, of course, the money, but you also get the token. Now, last time you had a couple ideas. What are you thinking this time for the token?
So before it was between a poison counter token and an Aquarian Crusader, 1/1 red human, because it's a center point of my deck along with madcap skills and stuff. But it seems like community wants a poison counter more. So
that would seem very
fitting
fitting with your Legacy Infect deck that you won, or that you top 8'd the last time, and your modern Infect deck where you won the IQ just a couple weeks ago and been writing about on Star City Games.
Right.
So, all right, well, I appreciate you sitting down. Good luck in the top 8. I'm going to shoot it over to Andrew Shrout with our number 3 seed, Logan Mize.
Hey guys, Andrew Shrout. I'm here on the sideboard with your 3rd seed, Logan Mize. How's it going, Logan?
Good, great.
So we're going to talk a little bit about your Legacy deck before we get to the Standard. You chose to play Omnitel in Legacy.
It's not a traditional Omnitel. It's more of a hybrid of, traditional Omnitel and Sneak Attack.
Okay.
I took a lot of the cards that I felt weren't good in Omnitel, like Enter the Infinite, Dream Halls.
Okay.
And I took, added more Emrakul's, so it feels more like a Sneak Attack deck.
Okay,
and more cantrips.
Okay.
And so it worked out well. It's, my own design. So a lot of people didn't quite know what was going on.
Fair enough.
So.
All right, so yeah, played it to a 5-2-1 record.
Yes.
So things worked out pretty well there. And I guess the traditional Omnitel plays just the one random Miser's Emrakul.
Right.
You've kind of made it so that the 3-card combo is Show and Tell, Omniscience, Emrakul.
Yeah, or you could use Omniscience and then you can Cunning Wish for an Intuition for 3.
Okay.
Or you can just cast an Intuition and get 3 Emrakuls as well.
Okay.
There's a bunch of ways to do it.
All right, fair enough. You actually chose to play Mono Blue in both formats, 16 rounds of Mono Blue.
Yes.
Mono Blue Devotion, the deck of choice in
Yes.
Standard. So tell me a little about why you chose to play that deck.
I started playing it at the release of Born of the Gods. I didn't play it when it was considered, the best deck in Theros. I played Blue-White. And then when Born of the Gods came out, I switched to it because with Blue-White, Monsters was getting popular and Blue was declining, which I considered, a good matchup. So I made the switch. I've been playing it since, and I've enjoyed it.
Okay. So it's a deck you've got quite a bit of experience with, and certainly that paid off for you this weekend.
Yeah.
Played it to
I get in a lot of
7-1
standard
record.
games.
Fair enough. All right. Hopefully you have some experience then in the black-white mid-range matchup. That's the deck you'll be playing against in the quarterfinals against Ben Friedman.
My friend Brendan DeCandio, he been playing that deck for a while. Got second at an Open, Orlando, SCG Open. So when we've jammed a million matches, yeah.
Okay. So how do you feel about that matchup?
It could go either way. He has thoughts these pack rats, so you know how those games go.
Right. Okay. The last question I'm going to ask you: if you win this Invitational, you will have a token of your very own with your face on it.
Yes.
What creature type will we be seeing your face on if you win?
An Angel token.
Okay.
Geist of Saint Draft is one of my favorite cards. And it also works with Entreat the Angels and whatnot.
Okay.
So it'll be used throughout history.
Sure. Yeah, of course. 4/4 Angel, probably the most popular answer I've heard. But no one who has wanted a 4/4 Angel has ever taken it down yet.
Right.
So,
Alex wants it too. So and we might meet in the finals.
Sure.
So.
All right, so it'll be an Angel face-off.
Right.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Thanks for sitting down with me again.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks. I'm going to send it back to Nick, who is sitting with your 2nd seed, Jared Betcher.
Welcome back to the sideboard. I am Nick Miller alongside Top 8 Invitational number 2 seed, Jared Betcher. How you feeling?
Pretty good.
You are no stranger to this area. Last Invitational in Charlotte, Top 8 as well.
Yep.
9th place and a top 16 finish in the last 2 Pro Tours. Top 8 GP Cincinnati. You are just top 8ing everything.
Not everything, but yeah, doing very well.
Coming into this event, how'd you feel on your deck choices with Black Red Devotion and the very sweet Grixis Painter deck?
I felt very good on both. I was comfortable that I found the standard deck I wanted to play because I was just not liking standard for the longest time. And then I had good trust in Brian Gottlieb giving me another great brew for Legacy.
All right. And your Black-Red deck you will be playing in the standard portion of this top 8. It's good to know you're feeling good about that deck. What do you think about your matchup in the quarterfinals against Reed Duke playing the Blue-White control?
I think it's favorable for me. I think it'll still be a rough matchup overall. The fact that he doesn't have Detention Sphere makes my pack rats a lot more lethal and it goes from the worst card against the matchup to maybe the best card. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Okay. Now the token, you had an option last time. You have changed your mind on what token you would take if you win this event. What would that be?
I think I want to be a Satyr token.
The 2 red?
Yep.
The 2/2 red green one?
Yep.
Off of Xenagos or?
Revel of the Fallen Gods.
Yes. Pro Tour played card. So, pretty good option. Well, I wish you the best of luck in the top 8. I'm going to send it back over to Andrew Shrout, who will be with our number 1 seed, Alex Burton.
Hey guys, Andrew Shrout. I'm here on the sideboard with your 1st seed, Alex Bertoncini. How's it going, Alex?
Good, very well.
All right. I'm going to talk about your standard deck a little bit before we get to... Actually, I got that backwards. Talk about your legacy deck a little bit before we get to the standard. Sure. You chose to play Esper Deathblade in Legacy.
Yes.
to a kind of an unconventional record. 4-1-3 in Legacy.
Yes, 2 of them were intentional draws in the last 2 rounds, and one of them was actual draw, which is rare for me since the speed I play is pretty fast.
Fair enough.
Yeah, the deck is solid. I've been playing it since Death Ray Charm was printed. Haven't literally put down the deck. It's very good.
Okay. The deck you have the most experience with?
Yeah, it's kind of like clockwork for me playing the deck. It's like just everything feels like second nature. It's like an extension of my body, you know, kind of thing. So.
All right, so 4-1-3 in Legacy to 8-0 in Standard, playing Jund Monsters, which is kind of a little bit of a departure from you. You've traditionally played control decks in Standard this season?
Usually, yeah. I played a little bit of Jund Monsters a few months back, like for a Grand Prix Cincinnati. I played Monsters. I played in a few opens. But generally, I like playing control decks, especially in Invitationals, because I usually am pretty good at control mirror matches. I usually put a lot of Aetherlings in, or a lot of like heavy decks.
Okay, well, talk to me a little about why you chose to play Jund then for this invitation.
Well, because usually Invitationals are filled with a lot of control decks usually, and I felt like a lot of the decks that beat control decks were also fine matchups for me. Like the mirror match I feel fine in. Also, mono black, a lot of people default to in Invitationals, and I feel like my favorite against mono black. I didn't think there's going to be that much mono blue. It ended up that there was a good amount of mono blue, but I figured people would be afraid of mono blue because of the, prominence of control decks usually. So I just basically played it to feast on the control decks.
What you expected the metagame to work out. Okay, well, it certainly worked out for you.
Yeah, this I did. I would have been happy 6-2ing Standard because I felt more confident in Legacy, but I'm just surprised I managed to crush it.
Posted 8-0. You are sitting down against Chihuo Yim, playing blue-white control in this quarterfinal. How do you feel about that matchup?
I feel it's like kind of close-ish. I feel like I'm a little favored, like maybe 55-60%. I have a Golgari Charm main, a couple more on the board. My sideboard is better against control decks than it is against like mirror matches and stuff like that, so I really prepared for the control matchups. But he has 4 Quickens, which is interesting.
Yeah, Chihuo's list is kind of unconventional.
Yeah, it is unconventional, but it's unconventionally good against monsters. It doesn't have any planar cleansings though, so there's also a plus. I'm not sure. I could go either way. I know Chihuo is like a kind of more conservative player with the deck also, so I can like I might get into trouble where I don't think he has a verdict, and I might just like jam an extra creature and have them all killed at instant speed. So I'm a little worried about that. But if I had to pick a matchup in the final, if I had to pick up matchup in the top 8, I think he would be one of the ones I picked to play.
Fair enough. All right, last question I'm going to ask. If you win this Invitational, you are going to have your very own token. So what creature type would you want your token to be?
4/4 white flying angel token.
Okay. All right. That's you're the second person who has told me that. So I know there's a lot of competition for angels.
Yes. Hopefully I get that angel before he does.
All right. Thanks for sitting down with me again, Alex.
Thank you very much.
All right. We're gonna take a quick break, just a 5-minute break actually, but we'll be back very shortly with some Invitational quarterfinal action. So stick around.